Intro. Libra is not the sign of balance. It is the sign of someone desperately afraid of what happens when balance is lost. Most people who know a Libra have felt this without having a word for it. There is a particular unease that comes from being around someone who agrees with you too readily, who makes you feel completely seen but somehow never fully known. That is Libra. Not the charming diplomat the textbooks describe. A person running a very sophisticated psychological operation, mostly on themselves. Stay with me. Because later in this video, we are going to talk about Libra's relationship with conflict, specifically, the way they manufacture peace while engineering the exact tension they claim to hate. That revelation will reframe every Libra you have ever known. The core identity. Libra is ruled by Venus. People hear that and think beauty, pleasure, romance. That is surface reading. Venus, at its psychological root, is about value. What things are worth. What people are worth. What you are worth. Libra is the sign that never stops asking that question. This is why Libra is obsessed with fairness. Not because they are naturally just. Because their entire internal architecture depends on knowing where everything stands. The scales are not a symbol of peace. They are a symbol of constant, exhausting measurement. Libra processes the world relationally. They do not experience themselves in isolation. They experience themselves in reflection, in how others respond, in what the room thinks, in whether the dynamic feels equal. Strip away the audience and many Libras will tell you they feel genuinely uncertain about who they are. This is not weakness. It is a specific kind of intelligence. Libra reads people faster and more accurately than almost any other sign. They calibrate in real time. The problem is they use that intelligence to manage perception rather than pursue truth. The dark side. Libra's darkness does not look like darkness. That is precisely why it is so effective. It looks like flexibility. It looks like keeping the peace. It looks like being the reasonable one in the room. But watch closely. Libra is one of the most emotionally avoidant signs in the zodiac. They frame this as emotional intelligence. It is often the opposite. The refusal to take a hard position, the deflection with a question, the sudden warmth that appears when things get too real, these are evasion tactics dressed in silk. Libra can be profoundly passive-aggressive. Not in the obvious way. In the way where they never say what they mean, then feel deeply wounded that you did not understand them. They expect you to read the silence. Then they resent you for misreading it. They wrote the text and forgot to send it, then blamed you for not replying. And the vanity. Not just physical, intellectual and social vanity. Libra needs to be seen as good. As fair. As the one who handled it gracefully. The moment their image as the balanced, composed, beautiful-minded person is threatened, the composure fractures in ways that surprise everyone, including Libra. Retention peak. Here is what Libra will never admit to themselves. Libra does not avoid conflict because they hate it. They avoid it because they are addicted to the version of reality where everyone likes them. Conflict would force a verdict. And verdicts mean someone might choose against them. So Libra keeps everything slightly unresolved, slightly open, slightly warm, not for your comfort, but for their own survival. The indecision is not a flaw in the system. It is the system. Because as long as nothing is decided, Libra cannot lose. They stay in the consideration phase of every relationship, every choice, every version of themselves indefinitely. Not because they do not know what they want. Because knowing would mean risking. And risk, to Libra, feels like annihilation. In relationships. Loving a Libra is one of the most intoxicating experiences a person can have. They are attentive in a way that feels almost psychic. They remember what you said 3 conversations ago. They make you feel like the most interesting person in the room. For a while, you will think you have never been this understood. Then you will start to notice that they have never quite told you what they actually think. That their opinions shift depending on who they are with. That the person who seemed to know you so completely has never fully let you know them. That is not an accident. That is architecture. Libra in love craves deep partnership but fears the loss of self that comes with it. They want merger and independence simultaneously. This creates a pattern where they pull you close and then quietly introduce just enough distance to feel safe. You will feel it before you can name it. The partners who do best with Libra are the ones who do not chase the distance. Who are secure enough to simply wait. Libra is watching to see if you will panic. If you do not, they will come back with something real. That is when the actual relationship begins. What they need to hear. Libra. You have spent a significant portion of your life making yourself palatable. Sanding down your opinions, curating your reactions, being the version of yourself least likely to cause a disruption. You are exhausted. And the people who deserve you have never gotten you. The thing you are most afraid of, being seen as difficult, as unfair, as too much, is not nearly as dangerous as you believe. You have overestimated the fragility of the people around you. And you have catastrophically underestimated how much more magnetic you become when you stop managing everything. Your indecision is not protecting anyone. It is keeping you orbiting your own life without ever landing in it. A decision made imperfectly is still a life being lived. The scales do not need to be perfectly level. They just need to be in use. You are not too much. You have been too little of the real thing. Give people the actual Libra. The one with opinions that make someone uncomfortable. The one who knows exactly what they want. That person is far more beautiful than the performance you have been running in their place. OUTRO. Libra is not a simple sign. It is a sign engaged in one of the most psychologically complex projects in the Zodiac, the attempt to make beauty and truth coexist in a world that constantly pits them against each other. That project is worth respecting. It is also worth interrogating. If this gave you language for something you have felt but never been able to say, that is exactly what Astrea Zodiac is here to do. Share this with the Libra in your life who is ready to hear it. Or watch it again and catch what you missed the first time. Subscribe to Astrea Zodiac for daily cosmic intelligence. This is your universe speaking.